Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're all about the wild ride of American politics, where governors turn into national stars and polls drop bombshells that could reshape the Democratic Party, then you're in the right place. Smash that subscribe button right now if you haven't already. We hit 100K last week, and I want to get to 200K by year's end with your help. Turn on notifications so you never miss these deep dives into the stories that matter, like today's bombshell. California Governor Gavin Newsom is surging as the top pick for the Democratic nominee in the 2028 presidential election, according to a fresh poll that's got everyone talking. And we're not stopping there. We'll unpack the outnumbered panel's take on his potential White House run and what it means for the future of a Democratic Party still reeling from the 2024 losses. Stick around because I'll break down his reputation, the wins and losses in California, why this is huge for Dems, and how the opposition is firing back. We've got key points up front to keep you locked in. First, Newsom's poll numbers are skyrocketing to 25% among Dem primary voters, a massive 13-point jump. Second, his aggressive anti-Trump trolling is boosting his profile but drawing fire. Third, his California record is a mixed bag, big on climate and education, but slammed on homelessness and costs. Fourth, this could signal a Democratic rebound, positioning Newsom as the party's future leader against a GOP that's riding high. If that hooks you, we're diving deep with research, real talk, and no fluff. Let's get into it. Picture this. It's September 2025, and the dust from the 2024 election, where Donald Trump reclaimed the White House and Republicans swept Congress, has barely settled. Democrats are soul-searching, licking their wounds after Kamala Harris' defeat, and wondering who's next to carry the torch. Enter Gavin Newsom, the slick-haired, sharp-tongued governor from the Golden State, who's suddenly topping polls for 2028. A new Emerson College poll released just days ago shows Newsom leading the pack with 25% support among Democratic primary voters, a whopping 13-point surge from June. That's ahead of Pete Buttigieg at 16%, Kamala Harris at 11%, and others like Josh Shapiro and AOC trailing further behind. This isn't some outlier. Similar vibes from Morning Consult and Echelon Insights polls echo the rise, with Newsom gaining traction among young voters under 30, up 12 points, and even older demographics over 70. 9-10 Why the buzz? Well, Newsom's been playing offense, mocking Trump on social media with all-caps rants and parody merch that's raised over $100,000 in a day, turning him into the Democratic foil to Trump's bombast. 40 It's working. His ex-followers have exploded by 450%, and Google searches for his name are spiking. 27. This surge didn't happen in a vacuum. Flash back to the outnumbered panel on Fox News, where hosts dissected Newsom's potential 2028 run and the Democratic Party's path forward. 19. They called it a major shift, with panelists noting how Newsom's California governance, pushing climate action, expanding healthcare, and clashing with Trump on immigration, positions him as a fresh face for a party desperate for energy after 2024's drubbing. One commentator quipped he's trolling his way to the top, while another warned his socialist label from conservatives could haunt him. But the panel agreed. With Dems losing the White House and Congress, Newsom's rise signals a potential rebuild around progressive populism with a pragmatic edge. It's got X blowing up too. Posts like one from @Poll Tracker 2024 showing Newsom neck and neck with Kamala in averages, and users debating if he's the Trump nemesis Dems need. 45-10 even in hypothetical matchups. Against GOP fave J.D. Vance, Newsom's within striking distance at 43.5% to Vance's 44.4%. 49. To understand why Newsom's surging, let's zoom in on his reputation. Born in 1967 in San Francisco to a family with deep ties, his dad was a judge and Getty Oil attorney, Newsom's no stranger to power. 31. He started as a businessman, founding the Plumpjack Winery Group that grew into 23 businesses, showing his entrepreneurial side. 31. Politically, he burst onto the scene as San Francisco mayor in 2004, famously issuing same-sex marriage licenses ahead of the curve, earning him progressive hero status. 31. As lieutenant governor from 2011-2019, he hosted a show and wrote Citizenville on digital democracy, building his brand as a forward thinker. 31. Now, as California's 40th governor since 2019, his approval hovers around 52 to 58% among adults, per PPIC surveys, though it's polarized, 83% from Dems, just 12% from Republicans. 79-32. Newsom's got a representative as a pragmatic progressive, fiscally moderate but socially bold. Supporters praise his handling of the pandemic, where he widened the safety net and pushed vaccines, though critics blast shutdowns as overreach. 37. On the positive side, he's expanded early childhood education, aiming to close achievement gaps, with universal pre-K and better data tracking. 30. He's poured billions into homelessness via Project Roomkey, converting hotels into housing for 42,000 people, and a $12 billion package for supportive units. 30. Environmentally, he's a champ, phasing out fracking by 2024, exceeding zero-emission vehicle goals early, and securing $1.2 billion for a hydrogen hub. 36-33. He's vetoed bills like caste discrimination bans, deeming them unnecessary, and expanded unemployment for strikers, showing fiscal caution. 31. And globally, he's built climate partnerships, like with China, positioning California as a leader. 35. But his reputation isn't spotless, far from it. Critics hammer him on losses that paint California as a cautionary tale. Homelessness has surged 31.6% since 2007 despite $24 billion spent, with over 180,000 on streets. 29. Crime waves tied to Props 47 and 57, which he backed, have led to repeat offenders and tied law enforcement's hands. 29. High cost of living. California's got the nation's highest, with a $26,000 extra burden on middle-class families from taxes and wages hikes. 29. Gas taxes could hit $2 per gallon by 2026, and the state ranks 49th in tax climate per Tax Foundation. 33. Education. 2/3 fail math standards, enrollments dropping below 6M for the first time in 20 years. 34. Drought prep flopped. No new water storage despite storms. 34. Wildfires. He overstated treated acres by 690%. 34. And scandals like French laundry dining maskless during lockdowns, or NFL luxury suites, scream, rules for thee, not me. 34. Even his high-speed rail promise. He pulled the plug after calling it a failure. 34. A 2025 poll shows 59% of Californians say, no thanks, to his presidential run, with approval at 33%. 46. For Democrats, Newsom's surge is a godsend amid post-2024 gloom. The party's future looks shaky after Trump's win and GOP gains, losing the White House, and Senate left them rudderless. 78. Newsom's positioning as Trump's nemesis, blasting tariffs and immigration raids, energizes the base. 72. He's widened the safety net, like health insurance for undocumented immigrants, and vetoed tax hikes on the rich for EVs, showing moderation that could appeal broadly. 38. Polls show him leading in California Dems, and his redistricting push to boost House seats as a power play for party gains. 73. Consultants see him as a rising star, with his podcast and social media building national ID. 76. For a party eyeing 2028, Newsom offers charisma, fundraising. He's a Getty Air beneficiary and a blueprint to counter GOP populism. With progressive wins like AI ethics and clean energy. 36. He's granted pardons to immigrants facing deportation, vetoed death penalty pushes, and built global ties, stuff that rallies diverse voters. 31. The opposition. They're not buying it. Republicans paint Newsom as peak liberalism, a socialist whose policies fuel poverty, 17% adjusted rate, highest in U.S. and Exodus. California lost 402,000 jobs since pre-pandemic, while Texas and Florida gained millions. 33. They slam his windfall profits tax on oil as hypocritical. He wants profits but taxes them, and his sanctuary state status as enabling crime amid Trump's border crackdown. 34. Fox calls him more radical than Bernie, and Trump himself dubs him incompetent, despite acknowledging his charisma. 38. Critics like Kevin Kiley argue his redistricting is election rigging, and 54% of Californians think he's more focused on presidential ambitions than governing. 38. On X, MAGA users mock him as Newscom, with posts claiming his polls are way down, contradicting data. 53. They warn his California model of high taxes and regs would tank nationally. So, Where does this leave the Democratic Party's future? Post-2024, it's a rebuild era. Harris' loss exposed fractures, identity crisis, as Newsom himself admitted in April 2025. 74 jockeying for 2028 is underway, with Newsom, Shapiro, Whitmer, and others in the mix. 83 Newsom's role: he's the frontrunner, per rankings from The Hill, leveraging California's economy, now bigger than Japan's, and his anti-Trump stance. 635 but challenges loom: his housing promise of 3.5 million units by 2025. Only a fraction built. 30 and with Trump back, Newsom's resistance, like suing over tariffs or deploying CHP against federal raids, could define him. 35 polls show 22% of Californians want him to run, but nationally, his electability versus Vance is tight. 31.8. Wrapping this up, folks, Newsom's surge is more than a poll blip, it's a lifeline for Dems eyeing redemption. His representative is a bold leader with flaws could unite or divide. What do you think? White House material or California cautionary tale? Drop comments, like if you're subscribed, and share for more. Thanks for watching. See you next time.